1,000 naira. How many states were able to pay? How many local governments were able to pay? How many employers of labor were able to pay? We'll be looking at those things because it's important that a holistic approach be looked at. And I have taken the suggestion that we should not rest until we arrive at an amicable resolution of the issue, that the National Assembly leadership should also continue to make its own contributions towards the ongoing negotiations. On that note, I want to thank the Nigerian Labour Congress and the TUC for listening to the voice of Nigerians and the international community, calling out the strike to enable negotiations to continue.
Again, the reason why I am giving you the backstories of these guys is just to help you understand that person on your screen. Not just a Nigerian politician that is corrupt. You need to understand what they did. So that when you are watching them, you are not looking at somebody who is pretending to have a solution. It doesn't. He's a chancer. An average Nigerian politician is a chancer, opportunist. So when I give you their backstory, so that you can easily see and say, no wonder. These are career criminals whose filthy hands and their selfish greed have led to the death of the dreams of millions of people across Nigeria. From inside that chamber, they even almost fought themselves because they were debating the budget of FCT submitted by Wike. Same characters that were trying to discuss what is better as a bill. Baba, these guys, they are drawing salaries of, hundreds of millions of naira just to pay those they selected as their own staff. None of them pay anyone working for them 90,000 naira. Talk less of 30,000, that's minimum wage. Honestly, if I'm a senator in Nigeria, guy, they go pay me, they go give me about 10 million naira to pay people working for me every month. So I can choose to just get my brother, my sister, and then maybe my girlfriend's brother, and then his own girlfriend. I just put them on the payroll. And then I put my boyfriend's, number, including his own girlfriend's number. I just have to put my pals, my family, and all of them. And I just tell them I'll pay you 500,000 naira each. Maybe 6 of you. That's 3 million naira. So that's enough. Or maybe 10 of you. That's 5 million naira. The remaining 5 million, I can use that one to do philanthropist every month in Odogbolu. And they will see me as a great person. All of that will be paid for by Nigeria. But yet I can go on there and say, you see, the plumbers, the this, the that, they just pay them 30,000 because Nigeria cannot afford to pay more. So they were fighting themselves, God knows. Or maybe you do know why they will fight themselves. It is not because they care. It is because they need to know what is in it for them. Here is a FCT budget. And because by law, there are those who are to debate the budget of the FCT. And look at them.
There is nothing before us to debate. So so the leader of the Senate, you heard his observation. There is nothing before us to debate. Therefore, I will put the question. Those who are in support that this supplementary appropriation be now read a second time, say aye. Those against say nay. Leader, approach.
Distinguished colleagues, the good thing about it is that the gamble has not yet landed. And without any reservation, agree with the observation made by distinguished Senator Sani Musa, and of course re-echoed through the voice votes of our dear colleagues. Mr. President, it is our tradition in Parliament that when a money bill is presented, the agency that is bringing it through the relevant committee would attach a breakdown of the proposed budget estimates. In addition, we'll also attach a budget performance report on what this Parliament previously passed. And the lead debate that was passed on to me, which I presented, of course, did not contain this. And to my surprise, the distinguished chairman of the committee, distinguished Senator Bomai, who is well respected by all of us as a distinguished member of this hallowed chamber, eventually came up with the breakdown of this budget estimate. But Mr. President, what is important is that observation had already been made. And what was submitted to me after I presented a lead debate cannot be deemed to have been presented to this Senate.
Hello?
And they rob themselves as well. So in their budget of 2024, Tipnumbo presented an empty box, nothing inside it. But they gave a copy of what was supposed to be the budget proposal of Tipnumbo to all of the members. Okay? So when all of the members who had a copy, they were like all going through it and all of that. Okay. Then the next thing, it was like, the ayes have it. Okay. The budget is passed. No scrutiny, no nothing. Okay. But those who still have the copy, they have questions, but they were not allowed to debate it. So the budget was passed. Tipnumbo signed it. They've padded it with 7 trillion naira. So few days after that, some of the senators that they gave the copy, supposed copy of what Tipnumbo submitted, which is an empty box, nothing inside. They were now reading a supposed copy that they said is passed, was passed by them. So when they started comparing the two, they were like, no, this is not what, this is different. The people that raised the alarm, they suspended 2 of them for raising alarm, but they still passed it anyway. Now, you just hear that one there. Now, where the Wike send the supplementary budget, I have not seen anything like this in my life. They passed 2024 budgets. But this is just June 2024. The budget for FCT last year, Wike collected over 200 billion naira supplementary budgets. And that is what they claim that he spent to renovate those roads, to renovate the metro line and all of that. So he's received more money than any FCT minister in history. Wike. That was that. Then he now wrote a budget. Wike alone's budget inside the 2024 budget is over 600 billion naira for FCT. Abuja alone. Now, this is June. Wike don't submit another 98 billion naira supplementary budget. December never reach you. And that is the one there. Okoyemi Bamidele was like, this is different from the one I submitted. This is different from the one I submitted, the motion I moved. My president, Mr. President. But did you see where he was like, those in support say hi, those against say nay. And then the nay were like, nay. But it will never hit the gavel. The gavel was to let the nays have it. That means that supplementary budget has been rejected. They needed a quick cash. See, have you noticed how billions don't mean anything to these people anymore? It used to be millions. All of you in your 60s and 70s, do you remember when they used to publish, there was no internet, they used to publish the salary of public officials in Nigeria. And there was a time that there was a real problem. Minimum wage in Nigeria was somewhere around 30 naira or so, okay? And the president of Nigeria was to collect 50,000 naira salary, annual salary. They look at the salaries of others. Vice president, 30,000. A year is not a month, not monthly salary, a year. Divided by 12. That was the salary of them then in 1979. Senate president, 22,000. Speaker, 20,000. Ministers, 16,000. Secretary to the government, 16,000. Special advisors, 16,000. You see that on your screen, Abby? Then you go to the, you go to the senators, 17,000. House of Rep, 16,000. Leader of the House of Rep, 17,500. Senate Committee Chairman, 17K. Committee Chairman, House of Rep, 16,500. And all of that. Here you get. But have you noticed now that people don't talk about thousands? They don't talk about millions. Billions is like thousands to this guy. They construct a kilometer of road for 4 billion, 3 billion. You go to poor states in Nigeria, they are constructing road at, poor road, they are constructing road at 1 billion per kilometer, 2 billion per kilometer, just to steal money. And that is why in the middle of 2024, there is no reports of how Wike spent the 200 billion they gave him towards the end of last year. Wike is here to give accounts of the budget performance between January and this June. Ogbeni don smuggle in supplementary budget of 98 billion. And now waiting cost wahala for the Senate be that. But guess what? They still passed it. Even though the nays were supposed to have it. Rejected. They still passed it. Wike will get his money. And he's already told everybody. With the way Tinubu said he brought him in specially. So that Wike can come and perform the magic that he performed in Rivers State in Abuja. But Fubara disagrees. Wike is like El Rufaya. If Wike did not, if Wike I should put it this way. If Fubara had been like Ubasani, Wike would have been like El Rufaya today. Yes. He won't have the audacity to actually wage war against Fubara. Because according to Fubara, Wike also left over 400 billion naira liability with more than 100 uncompleted projects, unpaid contractors who are demanding for their money now. But Wike is a minister. He still have the ear of Gbajabi Amole, the Gbajabi Amoran. Now, Gbajabi Amole will kind of like, well, Iflumbu said, Wike was brought in on a purpose, and he is going to fulfill that purpose in Abuja. And I think he's enjoying it too, so to say. So Fubara says, my government is not about flyovers. It is about the real development. I like it. It's part of the Agbas post that we have been monitoring. Here is Fubara yesterday.
Project that was initiated by that administration. But I think they didn't do proper study before venturing into it. The cost of that project would have been cheaper if we had kept it. You go to Europe, their rail line is a normal road, vehicles will run, rail will pass. The cost of this alone, it got to a point. In fact, I also don't blame the man too, let's be honest. When that project started, it wasn't supposed to be a project that the government would spend money. That was the truth. It was supposed to be a PPP project. We're supposed to maybe invest a certain amount of money and the investor will take over, run the project, manage it for so number of years, and after which we'll start maybe paying smart into the government. But somehow the government was duped. I use the word duped because when the man had his passion to start it and committed the first part of the money, the investor did not meet his own part. And I don't hold anything against him. If it's something we can do, definitely will. But we cannot go to that kind of thing now. But if we have anybody who is willing to come and put money, because we're making this place investment friendly, fine. We'll definitely welcome the idea and support, but not too much. We're building the 20,000 housing units. Now, these 20,000 housing units, I will shock you now. If you are aware, when Amechi came in, he brought a policy, Greater Port Harcourt, and he acquired a lot of land from the Ikwere Axis, all those places. And everybody knows that those lands were paid for. When the immediate past administration came in, greater number of that land were also given to people for development. When TAP approached us and we did our own survey through the through Greater Port Harcourt City Development Agency, gave them a land, and as soon as they commenced the project, we've gotten over 52 litigations. People coming to claim that the land belongs to them. Is to tell you the level of sabotage that this government is facing. When I say I don't like to talk, I have a reason. But it has to get to a point when you tell people, tell the world that this is what it is. We have this project, we call it spare parts village, that we wanted to, the previous administration already had arrangement. Even before that time, we came in, took up this project, called the partners who could not continue because their investors were Russians. And when the crisis started, they couldn't come in with their funds again. But because they committed money there, we had to call a new investor, come and take over this thing. An investor came. We agreed, paid off the old investor. the new man started. You won't believe that people who don't want us to succeed even had to go and call the former investor, ask him to take us to court. But thank God for those of us who still have fear and respect for God. And the man said, am I taking them to court for what? The man called us. We sat, we discussed, and paid us off. What justification do I have? How can I even look at the man? If there's anything this government is suffering, sabotage. Economic summit that we had, every notable speaker that we invited were called. What are you going to do there now? Hey, not going to embarrass me. What are you going to do there? I'm telling you. But to the glory of God, we had few men and women who had the courage to come out and stand with us. Bridges are not going to be a legacy. No. We want to go beyond bridges. I won't limit my legacy to only Trans-Calabari Road, the Ring Road, Port Harcourt, the Ekiri Road. No. I want to develop human capacity.
Okay. So that's a Fubara there that is now showing that he's found his voice. Man, life can be really, really funny. Fubara was the accountant general for Rivers State when Wike was the governor. Wike was looting money like the money was going out of fashion. It was the Father Christmas, it's the Big Daddy, the Zaddy, for those that he also freaked. You know, freaky time. He's got so much money. And he's got no supervision, no check and balance or any or whatsoever. He was looting, and he was also a cheerful giver. But you see all the looting and covering the book and hiding the whole thing from, possibly the prying eyes of EFCC and other anti-corruptions, whatever. Fubara is like the man who knows where the bodies are buried. So when he was declared wanted, Wike took it upon himself to protect him. Because by protecting Fubara, Wike was protecting himself. He had immunity. But the story would have been a different ball game today if the EFCC at the time were able to lay their hands on Fubara. So for a whole year, I don't even think Fubara wanted to be governor. Wike had to make him governor. He had to make him interested in being governor. When it was time for them to campaign and tell the people what they want to do, it will be Wike talking, telling the people what Fubara will do, why Fubara will stand behind him, protected by the police, the DSS, that declared him wanted, by the way. And immediately they lived there. Fubara was living inside government house in Port Harcourt, hiding away from those looking for him. Okay? Then it worked. A contraption, a corrupt system finally made him governor. And then the whole wala followed. A lot of Rivers never heard Fubara talk or speak. And it was really, really hard one for him at the early stage of the confrontation. But he seems to be coming out of his shell now. He is out of his shell. Will this sustain it? Then I think we leave that for time to tell. Watch this the concluding part of himself having a media parley, talking about himself and talking about what he's been able to do or what he intends to do. And all thanks to the fact that he's been able to do away with Wike. Wike who is also getting ready, counting days for the showdown in Rivers. But yeah, Fubara.
Second phase, first phase. There is nothing like a first phase. What we had in the state was doing a bridge that connects Degema to Krakrama. And for you to access that place, you need to go into the heart of Kalabari. What we just did was to award what they call the original Trans-Kalabari Road, which will brings you into Port Harcourt. It's not taking you from Elele. You start going that fast if you're going to Mbiama. No. Here, you just drive into the heart of Port Harcourt. That is the one where we just awarded. I believe you also heard it and you watched it on the tele where we invited our father, the former president, to come and flag off for us. That project will cost the state 225 billion. So far, we have already paid 30% of it, which is about 67 billion. Down payment is our commitment. We also done one other major project, which is the Elele Ebeda Omok. For those of you that go to that axis of the state, if you're going to Omok, from there you can also access Imo. You will notice that from the Elele axis, that road is a trunk A road, but it's bad. In fact, it has been a death trap, a lot of crime.